Pull up my questions. How did I send them to you? Did I email it? Questions to ask Ed. Here we go. Remember that? Okay, this is Shawn Hart sitting here with Handsome Ed, the Amazon Gypsy. We're going to go through a series of questions here with a live interview. But before I get started, someone type in the Q&A box whether you're hearing me okay or not. It's like the old CB tag back in Rush County.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
With you.
Did you?
Yeah. Remember you said white slavery. It was white belt.
Oh, that's funny.
That's where we were hiding. You told somebody white slavery. Because
it's hilarious. Yep.
It on?
Yeah, we're just going to sit here and shoot the bull until someone answers me if you can hear or not. Say hello, by the way, Ed.
Hello, guys.
There's about I don't know, sometimes up to a 2-minute delay. So the guys watching on YouTube can't really comment. So most people watch on a mobile device or watch later.
I'll tell you what, man, this is a trip. All this technology and just all this little stuff.
Yeah, it is.
How the hell do you remember it all?
I don't. I'm getting to be an old man.
You're doing fine, man.
Repetition, just like anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Now I know that the screen's working. Okay, so we're just going to get started here with Handsome Ed, the Amazon Gypsy, and we're going to have a live interview with a friend of mine here. This guy and I didn't really grow up together, but we've known each other for several years and started mentoring Ed a little bit in his Amazon business and kicking it off a few months ago, and couldn't be any more proud of anybody else out there in my network. So since I found myself on the West Coast the last couple of days visiting with Amazon headquarters, I promised Ed that I would come down and try to get into his head a little bit and see, so we can get his take on the Amazon opportunity and how he grew his business from 0 to 60,000 a month in just 5. How long have you been doing this now, Ed?
5 months, maybe 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, 5 months, 2 weeks. So by the end of 6 months, he'll be well over $60,000 per month, and this is really profound because Ed, unlike a lot of guys, has not had access to all the ASM tools that a lot of you have had access to, and he's had to kind of feel his way around in the dark, getting his business up and running. So every time I get a chance, I brag about him, and so it's a really good opportunity for me to sit here and interview him, because you guys are going to learn a lot from him. And like me, he's a guy that'll give more than he'll ever take. So pay attention and come back and listen to this audio later. We're having a little problem with video today, so you can't see me for a reason. We're just going to do an audio interview, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get started. Ed, if you want to say hello.
Hello, guys. I know Shawn said I've kind of felt through the dark on this a lot on my own, which is true, but he's been there and helped me out a lot. Like, anytime I had questions, I'd call him up or shoot him a text, and which I think 90% of our questions were done over text.
Yeah, it really was. I talk about that a lot in our local meeting. It's like, you guys sit here, I'm holding your hand. You have access to me 24 hours a day almost, and a lot of you aren't really doing anything with the information. Here's a guy on the other side of the world almost, who just through a text message once in a while gets his business up and running and grew it to really, quickly to $60,000. Every time he would send me a screenshot of where he was at for the month, it was just amazing, because Ed focuses in one category mainly, and you guys know I'm in several different categories. So if I had it all do over again, I would focus on one product and really milk that product for everything it was worth. That's no big deal. And that's really what Ed's doing. So we'll go ahead and get started here. And now that we have a few viewers, there's a little bit of a delay, but first, Ed, if you don't mind, if you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and your Amazon business, and take your time.
Well, my name is Ed Doherty, and we've been selling all my life, ever since I was a kid. First job I had was running door to door and asking people if I could pick cigarette butts and stuff out of their out of
Wow.
their rocks and stuff, at the banks and all that stuff. Just whatever I could do to get them to give me money, because my parents didn't have money. So for me to ask them for money that I know they didn't have was kind of hard for me to do. But so yeah, going door to door was nothing to me. And when I got a little bit older, I would see Shawn out and see him out peddling roses or peddling clothing or shoes or paintings,
whatever we could get.
Yeah, what haven't you sold?
Yeah.
And so I was always envious of that, and never shy to ask somebody, hey, you know what? You're killing it. It's obvious. Can you kind of point me in the right direction? I didn't ever want it given to me, but I'd always ask him, if you could just point me in the right direction, I'll take it from there. And I think he liked that, so he did it.
Yeah, I remember when you came to me when you were probably, what were you, 18 or 19 years old? 17. Yeah. And I had a business at the time where I had guys that were out selling T-shirts and sports apparel and things out on the street. I'm sorry, we got a little bit of background noise here, but Ed's taking care of it. But anyway, I had guys working for me on commission. I was trying to duplicate my efforts, and Ed came to me as a teenager and said, hey, just straight up, this is what I want to do. I want to build a business and model it after what you're doing. And if you don't mind, could you share some information with me? And to me, it was, first of all, I was a little bit, I guess, taken back because why does this kid think I'm going to give him my trade secrets? But in reality, it was a lot more honest to come at it head on than it was to kind of go around, try to bribe one of my salespeople, or follow me around to find a supplier. So
go through your trash.
Yeah, go through my dumpster like I've done several times. But he just said straight up, "Hey, I want to do this business, and I'd appreciate it if you share the information with me." So I just, not really. I wasn't really much of a giver back then, but since I had known him since he was younger, and we came from the same small town, I shared with him, and basically I handed him the business on a platter, and he went after it. Next thing I know, he was headed to California, and he'd made him a nice little nest egg of money, and he came out here to California to start a new life for himself. And we've stayed in contact off and on since then. And like I said, I'm just as proud as can be of him because he actually takes the information and runs with it.
Yeah. Smart guy told me one time that whatever made you think you could do Amazon or paving or whatever made you think you could do that. And Shawn's answer was, and this is the same answer I give everybody now, is nobody ever told me I couldn't.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I've never forgot that ever since you told me that.
I'm glad you like that. But it's true. You and I both started several businesses in industries that we didn't know anything about. And to me, you kind of, if you go in with too much information about it, it's almost handicapped. It's better to find your own way and invent your own process and take an angle that no one else ever taken. That's really the way I started Amazon. I told you last night when we visited a little bit that I just used Amazon as a platform to liquidate a bunch of inventory in my warehouse that I was too lazy to throw in the trash. And it really opened the door for me because I realized there were millions of people out there willing to buy junk. I think we've talked about that, didn't we?
That wasn't even very long ago either. If I remember, because I think I was calling you about something else, and you said, "Hey, you know what? I found this something about a ski, and this is something that if you were here, Ed, I would have just gave it to you. I would have thrown it away." Scuba mask, yeah. And you said, but no, I threw it on Amazon and it sold in like 4 hours or something.
$380. Yeah, I was cleaning out my garage looking for things. And for those of you that I've coached a little bit, I've told you that the best way to get into the game is to just pretend you're having a virtual yard sale, but instead of hanging signs out front and putting a bunch of junk in the yard, just put it on Amazon. So that's really the best way to get acclimated to the platform and how it works. So what Ed's talking about is I was going through my garage and I found a scuba regulator that I bought for my wife, and since then she decided she didn't want to scuba dive, and it was still new, but I'd lost the box. So, and that's what he's talking about is if anybody I know would have been standing there, I would have said, "Here, you can have it." It's worthless to me, but just out of curiosity, I put it on Amazon, and in a few hours I sold it for like $380. Well, that item actually came back to me because I didn't have the retail box. So, I got a full refund on it. So what I did, just to offset the cost of shipping it out and back, I just raised the price to like 450, and I sold it again a week later, and I haven't seen it since. So, yeah, it's really profound, the number of people that are looking on Amazon for deals. So, anyway, moving forward, tell us, Ed, a little bit about how you started your Amazon business and what were your early observations for the future of that.
Well, I had some stock here that I've been sitting on, some uh, tracking devices that I've been sitting on for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, and I just couldn't figure out really how to sell them. The ways that I had tried to sell them were would maybe grant me like 3 or 4 sales a day, or however, and then I had to really really talk to the customers and pretty much just sell myself and sell the item. But then Amazon, I threw them on there, and they was moving like one a day, or maybe 4 a week, something like that. Not much. And then Shawn calls me up, says, "Hey," he goes, "I forgot to ask you, do you have that stuff on FBA?" And I said, "No. What's FBA?" And he said, "Oh man, if you're selling one a day now, you're gonna sell about 10 a day when you actually get them, when you actually put it fulfilled by Amazon." So I've never questioned him once. I mean, he's the man when it comes to selling. So
Mm.
I threw him in FBA. I had the box ordered, shipped, sending pictures that night showing that I was sending them to the fulfillment center. And sure enough, I think my first day I sold like 13. The first day that they became Prime, yeah, I sold like 13, and my numbers were like 17, 8. No, I think then it was like maybe 800-900 bucks. I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
me, I was amazed. I was like, oh man, well, I can do that with every item. What I mean? Why wouldn't you do it with every item? So,
It's funny, as he's saying this, I'm looking in his living room and I see about 12 boxes of products sitting here ready to go to FBA. It looks like.
My wife's so embarrassed to have those sitting there too.
Well, that's what's paying the bills, right?
That's right. That's right.
It's funny. I forgot about that because actually, he was selling a product a few years ago when I come out for a visit. We were running around, and I think I talked about this once on a webinar, and Ed was like, "Hey, let's pull in the mall here and get one of these healthy California fruit smoothies or something." While we're there, he hands me a stack of postcards that had his product on it.
Switcheroo.
Yeah, so we're out there doing grassroots marketing, dropping postcards all over the mall, and basically it was just a simple advertisement with his phone number on it. So I assume you would take the calls on your cell phone and try to sell the product.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a good student. It's one thing to learn from your own mistakes, but I think truly wise people find it better to learn from other people's mistakes. So
yeah,
there's no sense in blazing a new trail, and that's what we're here to talk about. So you're going to share some of your inside secrets with us about how you've grown this business. A lot of people, Ed, have all the information, more information and tools than you and I have, really, and they're really just sitting on the sidelines watching us play the game, really not sure how to jump in. And my mission is to get everybody in, get everybody playing, and so we can have, a virtual room full of Amazon-made millionaires.
Exactly.
That's really my goal.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome goal. And I think it's a shame anybody that is kind of standing on the sidelines and kind of watching everybody, float upriver. I don't know if it was you that told me, but somebody told me that you're not going to walk the whole river, the stream, and kind of see what you're going to run into. You're not going to walk that and then come back down and start. Just kind of jump in and
Exactly.
deal with it as you go.
Like we used to throw an inner tube in the flat rock, right? And ride it from the cemetery.
And just hope
you did that, didn't you?
Hope we don't run into where the sewer runs into.
Yeah, just make sure you don't go all the way to the west side because you might get beat up walking home. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your favorite categories that you like to sell and how you come about making the decision to sell in those categories.
Well, the category I'm having the most success with now is kind of the home improvement, and it's because the stuff that I'm selling is pretty basic. They're like lifting straps and things like that. So it's not real it's not real easy to get a return on a lifting strap.
Not
You
too many
know,
moving parts there.
no. You know, the electronics devices, those are a little bit different because, you know, I've actually had so many people that they couldn't figure them out, and they're really simple. Yeah, you couldn't figure it out. But
You gave me one, and I finally just put it in the drawer. I couldn't figure out how to make it work.
so I actually had to go on and make a YouTube video, which I think is a great idea now for just about any product. You go on and make a simple 10-minute YouTube video. I mean, I've already got like 2,200 views, I think, on my YouTube video, which, you know, it's not knocking anybody dead, but I think it's helped my sales tremendously. And then I'm not getting as many returns, you know, like maybe 4 or 5 a week, which compared to what I was getting returns and they were actually units that were working great. People just couldn't figure them out. So I actually took and ordered. Now this is, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I took and ordered uh, a unit from a guy kind of similar to mine, and actually made a copy of his directions that he had translated from China to English.
A
Right?
man after my own heart. That's exactly what I would have done. Why
Yeah.
reinvent it if it's already there? Just adapt.
And his instructions were beautiful. So so now I take those and I put them in the box and, you know, repackage it and all that stuff. And so people get it. It's kind of a no-brainer as to how you're going to, you know, put these things together and get them working. I think that's what people want. They want to buy it, and out of the box they just want it to be up and running. So
Yeah, definitely.
so those are the.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I remember you making the video, and one of the things that I try to teach for people that are trying to build their own customer list, and this is something that we do on our products that are not really intuitive, is that we'll actually build a website landing page, and within the product we'll put a label or a sticker on it that says, you know, go here for a free instructional how to use or how to video or owner's manual. And then when they get to the website, they have to enter their name and email address in order to get the free download. So you can probably do the same thing with your YouTube.
Which I think is a great idea, because my problem is now I'm getting so many people that are asking me like, you know, hey, so I used my SIM card and it's not working, and so the first thing I'll ask them is, send me your SIM card number, you know, so I can access your tracker and get it going for you myself.
Really?
Then they'll send me like an 80 digit number, you know, which is crazy because I'm just needing a 10 digit number.
Yeah, something like that. So
yeah, I'm just needing the phone numbers.
Right number.
Yeah, they're using the wrong number, which so now I'm catching people in the beginning, and I'll say, no, you're doing it wrong. Watch my YouTube video. But if I had that card like you're talking about, then it's.
You could build a list. Just imagine if you had a customer list of everyone who went and downloaded your YouTube video that you could market other ancillary products to. And that's really the value of the business. You know, when you see my direct marketing company in Indianapolis, the number one most valuable asset was our customer list. So if you had a list of your customers and you want to launch another product, it's easy for you to just email them and say, hey, check this out. You know, I got a new product launch coming out. I'll give you a 50% discount. And this is one of the ways that we use to drive sales in the beginning.
Right.
And so you're able to send it out to your own personal launch list who, number one, they already trust you because they already have one of your products. So they're more inclined to do business with you. And you give them a coupon code that brings them into the fold even deeper. And then you just build that rapport as time goes on. And it's really profitable to be able to mine, you know, new sales out of your current customer list.
Yeah, this guy's a plethora of information. I don't know if you guys have caught on to that yet, but when I went to his warehouse in Indianapolis, I mean, I don't know that a warehouse could have got any bigger, and it was just packed full of inventory. And then there was at least 40 people working there.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. That was a headache.
Yeah, and then and then you had your phone, you know, your phone people that were answering your phone.
Right.
And stuff.
Yeah. What he's talking about, we had our own in-house call center and fulfillment company that we used. Before I sold that company, we were doing basically what Amazon does for you and me and everyone else. We would actually field our own inbound telephone sales calls process orders and that sort of thing. So that's what he's talking about. So we're going to have to speed up a little bit because we're getting behind schedule here. So let me ask a couple more questions. And listen, guys, feel free to ask Ed anything you want. Just type a question into the Q&A box on the right, and we'll try to wrap this thing up here in the next few minutes. So right now, Ed, what are your monthly sales up to at this point, and where do you see yourself in 3 or 4 months from now?
The highest I've had it was 61,400 and some change, but I looked this morning, it was like 59,260, and I think that's because of the numbers dropping off last night. I've had $400 in sales this morning, which is normally not is not not uncommon. That happens.
Yeah, it does. So you want to pause for a second?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, give me just a second here, guys. I'm going to pause the interview just for give me 5 minutes. So hold on, please.
Just go out there, hon, walk with her, talk to her.
Sorry, guys, I'm back here now. We're going to wrap this up because something else just came up. So if there's a burning question you want to ask Ed, put it in there now because I'm going to ask him just a couple more and we'll move on. So how much time do you spend each week working on your Amazon business?
I try to spend as much as I can, but I'm probably realistically spending maybe 48 hours a week.
Okay.
I try to do. I mean, you know how you can get into the mode to where you're nonstop. I think about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, that makes you an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can spend as little or as much time as you want on it. So real quick, Ed, why do you feel like Amazon could be a great opportunity for anyone who's ever dreamed of owning his own business and selling products to people online?
Well, I mean, to me, you don't have to have employees. You don't have to have a big warehouse. I mean, we're doing it from the front room of my house. I think you're doing it from
small office.
Yeah, real
600
small,
square
600
feet.
square feet. I've got buddies that I've got on this too, and one of them's doing like, I don't know, 15,000 a month, but he's just tickled pink. He can't get over just even the little amount of money that is but when he started, that's not a little amount, and he's only selling like 4 or 5 items. My mom and dad, they're doing it from their house. They live right out here with me as well, and they're doing great. So
yeah, I've seen their product. It's pretty amazing. It's something that they make at home, right?
Yeah, they make it themselves, and they have less than $1.10 in each item. They sell them for $17.99.
Wow, that's nice. So yeah, it really opens the door for anyone who wants to have a business, big or small. Thank you.
Ton of people.
Okay, so 2 more questions, Ed. If you could go back and change anything about getting your Amazon business up and running, what would you change?
I probably would have started earlier.
Yeah,
I think everybody thinks that, right? And then I would have took just about every dime that I had and just went full bore versus, right now I have like 256 items, I think, on my list, but I only have 36 that are FBA. And so of that 36, I'm doing the 60,000 a month. And, if I could go back, I'd rather have that 36 be more like a 360. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's pretty much what a lot of this stuff is here. We're working every week to, move up that number. I want the next number to be 50 of them fulfilled by Amazon, then next 100 fulfilled by Amazon.
Wow.
I got to get up into that Shawn Hart status.
Yeah, no one's ever going to be satisfied as long as you're under my umbrella. We're always going to be moving forward. So what would you say would be the most profitable idea that changed your business that you received from me?
FBA.
FBA.
Just FBA, fulfill it, and then actually just to get on Amazon and even try it out. You pushed me to kind of think outside the box, which you always do.
It sounds crazy at first, right?
Yeah, but it worked. and it continues to work. So.
Okay. I'm skipping through here, but final question, any last final words of wisdom to anybody still watching and waiting from the sidelines?
If you're waiting on the sidelines and you're just watching, you're getting passed up. I mean, you're missing money every day. It's like if you put one item on there and it makes you $50 a day, well, you're just giving yourself a $1,500 a month increase on your pay. I mean, that's pretty simple to me. I mean, if you do that 10 times, then you got 15,000 a month increase on, you know what I mean? Depending on what your profit margin is, of course. But if you're like my buddy Shawn Hart or myself, we don't try to spend too much money on our items, you know.
Yeah.
With the most profit we can.
Yeah, we like to buy for $2 and sell for $20. So I know that doesn't fit everyone's scenario, but that's the model that I'm after, and I think that's what Ed's doing too. So it's really easy. We're going to have to wrap up the interview. You know, we have a couple of things we need to take care of right now. So hopefully everyone got some value out of this. I'm going to hang out with my buddy here for a while before I head back to Indiana, and we appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us here. Feel free to go back and listen to the interview as many times as you want. It'll be on my Google Plus page immediately after, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to me, this is the guy you want to learn from. I mean, I can't think of anybody that's been in every marketplace, every market division that you could be in to try to sell an item. I think you said it, from the floor to the store to the door, or whatever.
To door, store to store.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you've been there and done that, Shawn.
Well, it goes both ways. I've learned from you too,
yeah.
which I admitted on a few webinars. But it's nice when you see a business from a different angle, someone else doing it. And Ed has sort of the same disease that I have. He sees somebody doing something and he just automatically knows he can do it better. And there's really no question about it, because he doesn't have anyone sitting there telling him that he can't.
Yeah.
And that's what you were talking about. And you said, what made you decide you can open a medical supply company? I was like, well, no one ever told me I couldn't. So I just do it. So don't be afraid. Jump in, you know, take that first step. Get your nose bloodied a little bit and get it over with, and then come back for a little more, because it really is easy, guys. And I honestly believe that anyone can do it, no matter what your background, education, or lack thereof. You agree, Ed?
Oh, I definitely agree.
Okay.
I mean, it's been proven. Look, you and I didn't come from anything.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, why California instead of Indiana?
Well, to be honest with you, I got in a couple of fights when I was in Rushville, and this was the furthest state away from Indiana.
Without having to go swimming.
Yeah, without having to go to Alaska. So Alaska wasn't very appealing. And not that I was a hellion or anything when I was a kid, but not that I wasn't. But, it just made the most sense. And since I've been out here, I love it. I've been out here 15 years and met my beautiful wife and got a beautiful family. So,
definitely.
Yeah, this is the place to be.
Yep.
Every now and again, I get a good visitor like this come out. That's nice.
Yeah. So going back to Indiana anytime soon?
No.
I don't blame you. Well, I've relocated too, so
yeah,
I had to bring that up. All right, guys. I guess that's going to conclude the interview. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, email support@amazonsellersalliance.com. And if you have any last-minute questions, email me. I'll send it to Ed and see if he wants to answer. But keep up the good work, buddy. I'm proud of you, and hopefully you were an inspiration to people out here in Cyberland.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, buddy.